Willowbrook was a town of routine. Every day felt the same. Until Clara and Leo stumbled upon a secret. It was a rainy Tuesday. They were exploring the alleyways behind Main Street. They were looking for adventure. They found it in the most unexpected place. An old, faded sign hung above a rickety door. It read, "Timeless Wonders." Curiosity bubbled inside them. They pushed the door open, its hinges groaning in protest. The musty scent of old paper and wood drifted out. Clara and Leo exchanged a nervous glance. They stepped inside. The shop was a labyrinth. Strange and wonderful objects filled every corner. There were dusty books, ancient weapons, and peculiar contraptions. Clara ran her fingers over a chipped porcelain doll. Leo examined a compass that spun wildly. At the back of the shop, something shimmered. It drew them in like moths to a flame. On a velvet cushion sat an hourglass. It wasn't like any they'd seen before. The glass was a deep sapphire blue. It swirled with silver dust. The sand inside was a shimmering gold. It trickled slowly from top to bottom. They were mesmerized. This was no ordinary object. Clara reached out, her fingers trembling slightly. She picked up the hourglass. It was surprisingly heavy. As she turned it over, the sand stopped flowing. It hung suspended in the air. Then, with a soft whoosh, it began to flow upwards. The air around them crackled with energy. Leo watched, his eyes wide with amazement. "What's happening?" he whispered. Clara shook her head, just as bewildered. "I don't know, but I think this hourglass is more than it seems." The room around them began to distort. The shelves seemed to bend, and the objects on them wavered like reflections on water. Fear pricked at Clara's skin, but curiosity was a powerful force. She held the hourglass tighter, her heart pounding in her chest. With a sudden lurch, the world dissolved around them. They were plunged into a dizzying vortex of colours and sounds. Clara squeezed her eyes shut, and Leo gripped her hand tightly. Then, just as abruptly, it stopped. They opened their eyes, gasping for breath. They were no longer in the antique shop. Gone were the dusty shelves and strange artifacts. Instead, they found themselves in a bustling marketplace. The air was thick with the scent of spices and unfamiliar foods. People in strange clothes brushed past, shouting in a language they didn't understand. Clara and Leo looked at each other, their faces pale. "What just happened?" Leo stammered, his voice barely a whisper. Clara shook her head, her mind racing. "I think," she started, her voice trembling, "I think we just travelled through time." A shiver ran down her spine. They had stumbled into something far bigger, far more dangerous than they could have imagined. The time-twisting sandglass had begun to work its magic. The marketplace swirled with activity. Clara and Leo tried to blend in. They felt utterly out of place. Suddenly, a voice cut through the noise. "You there, with the hourglass!" A young man with striking silver hair and piercing blue eyes stood before them. He wore clothes that seemed to shimmer and change colour. He looked just as out of place as they did. "Who are you?" Clara asked cautiously, clutching the hourglass protectively. "My name is Elan," he replied, his voice urgent. "And that hourglass is a dangerous artifact. You need to come with me. It's not safe here." He led them through a series of hidden passageways, away from the bustling marketplace. Finally, they reached a secluded courtyard. "Where are we?" Leo asked, his voice echoing in the quiet space. Elan took a deep breath. "You're in the future," he said, his voice low. He explained that the hourglass was a powerful device. It allowed its user to manipulate time itself, but it was unstable, its power too great to control. "You've been marked, Clara," he said, pointing to a crescent moon shape that had appeared on her wrist, glowing faintly. "The hourglass has chosen you."